All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again to continue on our live streaming of building a production level web application. I'm your host, as always, Dylan Israel. We've been going pretty strong so far. But before we get going into the web app, a little shameless promo for my latest course, the 100 Front-End Interview Questions Challenge, to help you ace those technical front-end screens. We cover all the core foundational items that you would need. I made this alongside my co-author Patrick Saway, as well as worked with several other front-end engineers and full-stack engineers that have a combined over 30 years of experience, and we cover not only the top 100 technical questions, but also interview prep and a special section here of do you have any questions for me? And we provide some additional resources. So if you're interested in that course, you can get it for just $9.99 in the description below, or use coupon code CodingGod. So now that we've done all that jazz, let me go ahead and get everything set up, and let's go ahead and launch our stuff. So I like to launch everything fresh. So this morning I put in a little bit of work. This morning, which is kind of cool, man. I've been really hacking things out. So let's see where we're at right now, so everyone's on the same page. So I keep track of everything in my video doc, of course. And you can see we're working on the support component. Although specifically, what we did yesterday was we had this tweet button. I'll show you in just 1 second. It's fully tested, but this tweet button will go out and tweet out the page that you're on with some text, as well as supply the URL, as well as relevant hashtags based off of it. It took me a second to get that working, and there's some bugs, but I got it all tested and solved those bugs. And what we're about to do right now is we are going to go ahead and get started with doing the same thing or something very similar, depending on the LinkedIn API, and get that going. So how's it going, Noir Eldon? Noir? Hope you're doing well. So we'll launch that. Let's go ahead and launch our application, and I'm gonna show you what I was working on. I think last night I got like 75% of the way there, but I needed to do some additional things, so it got a little bit complicated. You can see we have our title service that's going to get the title of the page, check out, and then our title page where documentation is more than just text. But then you can see right here, this is the base URL. Then we have to get the hashtags, which come from get route hashtags here, which we have to filter out, get rid of the category. So like if it's JavaScript and array section, it'd be JavaScript arrays hashtag. Then we got to paste the route in there. And then finally we return that, push all the text, and take care of some stuff here. So it got a lot of string management to do, but we did it. And now we're going to do something similar in the LinkedIn component. So let's go ahead and launch browser preview while we're at it. I'll show you real quick. So we go here, close that. You can see we have our Twitter. So notice how this matches. This right here matches the title. Then we're injecting a link, which is the link that our route that we're on, right? And then finally we have the hashtags, which is coming from the route right here. So if for whatever reason this was JavaScript /arrays, now this would blow up because it's not a valid route. But if we did that, which by the way, I need to create a 404 page mock. But if we did that, it would be hashtag arrays hashtag JavaScript, and this would have a different title. But cool. So all that works. Now we want to do the same thing with LinkedIn. And of course, we want to move it to this right side. Do you think web dev is good for someone with a slight visual impairment? I mean, I don't know what that would entail in terms of holding you back, but I mean, if you can write code and you can see the code, like it's one thing to be blind, that's not slight, right? Because code to a degree is very visual. So I'd imagine that as long as you have some visibility and you can read text, that it would be fine. All right. And this, I believe, we click on this, will just open up another browser preview. Cool. All right, so we want to do the same thing with LinkedIn. I actually pulled what we want is the share article API. So let's go ahead and look at that real quick. I looked at this morning. Let's see here. So I found an example URL. And you can see that this it creates a link to where we want to go, and then share and post. Although it doesn't add hashtags, which is something I want to do. So let's see if we can find out how to do that. So share article, LinkedIn API, hashtags. All right, so a required argument whose value must always be true. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we may not. So we have the page URL, and then we need to put mini, and then title, summary, and source. So it may not actually be possible to we'll keep that up because we're doing Facebook next. How did you go about applying for jobs without a degree in computer science? I just got skills that companies wanted to hire me with. And so like once I did that, it was much easier to get callbacks. So how do you find out those skills? Well, you just look at sorry, I'm pulling up the API. You look at what's in the job apps that people are looking for. Article title, article summary, source. All right. Easiest way to make a dynamic website? That's a little bit too broad of a thing, but I would say probably choose a framework that you're comfortable with. Hmm. Let's see if we can find it via here. All right. It's not the articles API though. It keeps on redirecting me to this, but that's not what we want. It may not be possible to add hashtags. Because, like, alright, let's see what happens here. Alright, let's go to LinkedIn real quick. And we'll go get an article. Oh, you know what? I probably have okay, cool. So there's one of my articles. All right. Whatevs. Let's we don't need to spend too much time on that. We can always circle back. So this is what I would normally do. So right now we can do everything but add hashtags as far as I can tell. So let's go to our Trello board. We'll create a low priority. We'll say look into adding hashtags to linked and share. All right, cool. So I go ahead and bring up before we do any of this stuff, let's go ahead and close others. And we're gonna need this. We're gonna need title service. And we're also going to need router. We're going to need to write test eventually for this. All right. Cool. So, what did I do? I did get Twitter message? I should use ng on init. This is going to keep firing off when in reality, I don't even want it. I just want it to go one time. So let's go ahead and do something like this. And I'll say public Twitter message set equal to an empty string. And then we'll just this is much more performant. It's probably going to break some of our tests, though. Yeah. So instead of result, what we would do is component. Got fixer. So this will be better. It's not going to change, right? Not on. Well. Actually, that might change. Actually, it will change because when the routes change. Let's leave this as is. We always come back. Once we have additional routes, I'll reconsider this. Okay. And same thing here. And I think what I might do is extend some of these, but we'll see. Alright, so that's our base URL. Why is my music not playing? How's everyone doing today? Happy Wednesday, man. Or no, it's Tuesday. It's been a long week. Alright, so we eventually will return a string here. This will be our base. Alright. So now all we gotta do is build the rest of it. So one thing that we always have to have, according to the documentation, is this whole thing called mini, which always needs to be true. Kronzi, the legend. Alright, next. Just gonna save that. Alright, so we have that. The next thing we need is the URL, which in our case, so this is our base. Let's go ahead and create a private method here. Private get the so I think I have to encode this, but we'll find out in a second here. Alright, and then with the base here, go ahead and do it. And okay, so now that we've done that, let's jump into our LinkedIn component. We can, for the most part, go to our share component. Control that out. App dash LinkedIn dash. Alright, cool. Let's look at our Twitter post. So Twitter message, this will be LinkedIn message. Alright, cool. There's that. let's start with so before we do all this, let's just do this. All right, cool. So what we need to do here is https://www.com/. Similar to what we did over here. Now what may happen is this may be a little bit more advanced, and so it can't find so that's our base, and then it may have an issue finding the site, which is it looks like it's trying to find it, but I think it's going to time out because it doesn't exist quite yet. But if we instead did something like another site, that would work just fine. But you could see that the URL here is right, videodiv.com/category/JavaScript. So cool. So we'll continue to test that in just a second. But the next thing we want to do is set the title. For now, let's just go ahead and comment that out, and we'll put Google. And now we want to private get title. This will turn a string as well. And actually, I don't even think we need this to be a thing. What we'll do and then on top of that, alright, so let's see what happens here. So if I understand correctly, what should happen is this should go to google.com. Okay, so I think I have to encode this title like I did over here. So let's try this. Let's go to LinkedIn real quick, see if the title got saved on there, because I don't think it did. No, that didn't work. There's gonna be a lot of these playing around with the API. Alright, before we do this, let's try something simple. You know what? I don't think you can set the title. I think it pulls it automatically right here. I think it pulls it automatically, so I don't think we can set it. It says we can set it, but it's not letting us set it. And then the summary. Alright, let's see how this... Yeah, I don't think we can really set any of this. I think this might be a little bit deprecated. Yeah, I think this is a little bit... Alright, well, anyhow, we can pass it and maybe it does some additional items, but I don't think so. So then we have our source, which is going to be, and source equal to videodevdocs.com. We have summary. Alright, so none of this shit seems to work. Let's, I think what we'll do right now is pretty straight up. Alright. Let's just log this real quick. And URL. VideoDevDocs.com/category/JavaScript. Perfect. Alright. Get rid of that. The title's gonna do whatever the title's gonna do. Get rid of the source. Alright, cool. We're gonna call that done. Now let's go ahead and write some tests for it. I'm going to put a low priority ticket in the backlog. Hey T-Show, how's it going? Good, man. I'm doing good, man. I've just been hacking stuff out, man. Like, I gotta teach you young devs. I still got it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be over there talking about they took our jobs when I when I in a year from now. I got to stay up with you youngins. But no, man, I'm just working on stuff, you know, having fun. Alright, cool. So now that we have that set up, nothing should be blown up. And we'll just Alright. So alright, so in this case, let's have an act. Result equals component dot LinkedIn message. Dot. So do it this way. Alright, so that should pass. Excellent. And then this could probably be one test because we're really returning one thing here, but it has a sort of two parts. So we're gonna say component dot router dot, oops. We're gonna say mock router dot, or excuse me, mock title dot last title. No, this is a router I need to do. Mock. We don't even use the title service, right? So we can get rid of this altogether. This will just be our mock router. Save that. Get rid of that. Did you hear about the John Jones news? I saw something about John Jones just can't stay out of trouble, man. The guy's just too wild. It's like the you know, us white people, we have a saying. All right, you can take, you know, you take the girl out of the trailer park, you can't take the trailer park out of the girl. The guy's just a wild dude, man. And that's just the way he is. And no matter how much money or fame or how much he has to lose, he's just going to keep doing crazy stuff because that's John Jones. Much like Conor McGregor, man. Conor McGregor's out there slamming phones, slapping fools, punching refs in the face. Yeah, man. We don't understand it, right? Because we're not living that crazy life, but But that dude, it's a CTE, yeah. John Jones is an MMA fighter, Eddie. But I mean, I think it's just a little bit of a different perspective, and like, I don't know, man. The guy. Two failed. But yeah, man, I mean, there's just some people who never get it fully together. Sometimes it's financially, sometimes it's in their relationship, sometimes it's in their family. Like, everyone struggles with something, man, and celebrities are no different. I don't know why this isn't working. It has a URL. Okay. The test was just being silly. Alright, cool. So there's our test for the LinkedIn post component. I think we can throw this one done for now, though I'm going to come back to it down the road. So let's go ahead and... Oh my goodness. Cool, while we're at it. On another note, if you're offered a 12-month contract role paying $40,000 more than your current salaried position, would you consider it? Would I? No, but would you? Possibly, depending on what your current salary is. So, I'd probably lose money if I took a contract role that paid 40K more. Because not only do I have to factor taxes in, I have to factor benefits in. And so going from 115 base, not counting a bonus of about 15% and 401k and all that sort of stuff, it's not really that much of a... I'm losing money. So would I? No. If I was making 40,000 and they offered me 80,000 contract, yes. Yeah. So it just depends where you're at. All right, cool. So we got this. Next up, Facebook. We were talking about this the other day, where every month I stay and I leave before 2 years, I lose out on $900 a month in free money that's hanging out there for me. Now, at 2 years, I think I keep 20% and then, or 40%, and then every year up to 5 years. So, like, to steal me away, you gotta make it worth my while. And $40,000 when I'm content where I'm at, that's actually gonna pay me less money. It's not something I'm even remotely interested in. Like, I mean, look at me right now, man. I just got done working the last 2 days, and I worked all weekend on this side thing. And here I am. I put an hour in this morning on this post. Why? Because I like my job, man. I'm happy. Are there things that could be improved? Yeah, man. At any job, things can get better. Things can also get worse, I assure you. That's probably the most likely scenario for most people. But I put in my 40 hours, and then I come home and I build the world's next best documentation site. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's something to think about depending on where you're at in your career. It just has to make financial sense, and that doesn't. Not for me, anyhow. So, my advice to you is never do contract, period. One, contract developers typically are frowned upon. So, like, anyone, it's one thing for your first couple jobs to get a contract job, but, like, anyone who can't get a full-time job, you know, most people are going to wonder why. Because a lot of good contractors, companies want to hire them after the fact. And if companies aren't trying to hire you after the fact, it's a little concerning, right? Where do I work? I work, although I say this every time, because it's part of my onboarding training. I do not speak for my company, I speak for myself. But I work for PwC. I actually have a shirt on right now. You gotta be careful, man, nowadays on social media too. Whew. Get yourself in some trouble. Alright, close others. Let's go ahead and get this. We're in share. Our share has a component. Alright, cool. So, if we did all this right, let's jump into our share component.html. Let's get this. Let's go back over here. Throw that in there. App-Facebook-post. We're going to need to update that in a second. And I really have to figure out how to trigger this so it opens up on my port. All right, cool. So all our icons look about right. Share's looking solid. Gotta fix that. All right, let's go and wrap this in an anchor tag real quick. And we'll come back to that, but we definitely want to target equal to blank. All right. Now what we have to do is get our Facebook to look right. So, I think I got an API key for Facebook. Yeah, I gotta get a It looks like one time I apparently asked for so I already have a development key, but I don't know what I did with it. Or what I was planning on doing with it. All right, it looks like I have to get an API key, and I need to set some things up for that. So, let's move on to something else. We'll simply write a quick little test here. That it exists, and we'll come back to our test file, and I'll do this. I don't want to stumble through too much documentation. All right. Cool. How are we good on time? Yeah, I got about an hour. Cool. Contract work versus internship, which one is better? Probably contract work. But take whatever you can get. To be honest, I don't really know the answer to that. Because I feel like an internship you can turn into something. I don't know. That's a good question, though. Alright, so I gotta go look at that. Alright, let me go ahead and bookmark this. Alright, cool. Alright, so what we're going to build is we're going to get started at the About page. I have a big old image here. We're going to build this quote thing here. I'm not sold on what my UI UX guy did for this. So I'm going to have to I'm going to talk with Ricky later tonight. Let me message him real quick before I forget. Well, this is it right here. There's redesign of the footer. Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and put our share component, which is on the category page. Or our sidebar component. So we have our category component.html. We have our app sidebar. We have our app card. What software do I use for mockups? I usually just use Balsamic for the wireframes. I motivated you to do some work. Code Poppy, good for you, man. I take 10% of whatever profits that you make. Alright, there's that. Alright. My washer machine broke, and we had the guy come out. The washing machine's 2 years old. It's a Samsung washing machine. Bought a matching set for about $1,500. $330 to repair it. 1 year warranty. Dear Samsung, I will never, ever, ever buy one of your products again. Okay, cool. So you see we have it here. We actually want to get it over onto the sides like it is in here. Alright, cool. So you see we have icon and title. And now we're going to have a... Oh, that's our header. So we're going to create a div with a category dash container. We're going to put all this crap in here. suppose this could be an article and all these could be sections, but I'm just finishing learning about backend in my coding bootcamp, and we're about to head into full stack. This series could have come at a better time. Good, man. Although we haven't done any backend, we've literally been all front end. You remember not understanding APIs until you watched the free CodeCamp weather app? I remember not understanding APIs until I built the free CodeCamp weather app. Alright, so now that we've done that, let's go ahead and move this over here. We have our header. How did I have my mock? Alright, so it doesn't go up to the header. Cool. So, we're going to make this a display of grid. Then we're going to give it a grid-template columns 1FR 1FR, and then over here, let's see, is it min-max of a min 100 pixels, a max of 300 pixels. We'll see how that looks. And then we're going to give it a grid-template areas. And in here, it's going to be header, 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 followed by... Hey, where's my music, dog? Followed by... So that's our header. Topics. This is topics. Then we have card content. Well, wait a second. So, header, header, header. Then we have topics. Do I have any plans for a backend on this project? Yes. I need to build a comprehensive CRUD application as well as authentication. Yeah, there's going to be a full backend. A lot of these things, the API calls will be put into services directly. So there's just so much I can do on the front end right now that I don't even want to tack. Like, I think I can get a working version with just a JSON structure. And then I can start, once I have that, I can start piecemealing it together. So there's going to be a lot of, I'm probably going to have to record around 500 videos for the 500 to 1,000, depending on how much I want to release for this. And then there'll be a whole mess of backend while I'm recording that, while I'll be doing the backend for it as well. Okay, so we have our, we're going to go header, 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 and then we have topics. Topic. All right, let me look at this real quick. So our header, we're good. It goes across. So we go topics, 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 sidebar. And then we go card dash. This makes it easier. Card dash content. Card dash content. sidebar. Cool. So our header. I mean, you can see, so I've probably just in terms of the will you need auth for this app? Will users be able to take a checklist of their progress or something? So there'll be certain functionality where you want to retain state and their cookies sessions, and if you got their email, and I can do that in local storage and stuff like that. But the idea would be, would I need to release it with that functionality? No, but I also want to collect their emails so I can, you know, let them know about new releases, all that jazz, right? So there's a couple of reasons why I want to do it. And to do authentication, you can use the site without authentication, but maybe you want to sign up. It makes it a little bit easier. And once I have it authenticated, I can now keep track of user settings. So let's say you prefer the light theme, or, you know, there's little things that you can do. So as the app continues to grow, that's something that you could add relatively easily. I should say easily, but you can add. Like one thing that you might do is just have a top 5 things that you recently visited, or that maybe you just have a little favorite list so that you can jump to whatever you're messing with. I don't know. I haven't really thought too much about that part of the application yet. It's not necessarily something that I absolutely have to have. The first thing in terms of a backend that we're gonna need God, that looks bad. The first thing that we're gonna need when it comes to a backend is going to be it's gonna be the we need to wrap these. These are too big. Oh my goodness. Might have to remove this resources or figure out a different way of juggling this. Would it look weird if we had resources right up here? That doesn't look too hot, does it? Theoretically, that's correct. But what's actually needs to be right here is a video, and then the topics are going to go right here. So it'd be something like header. What was I going to do before I went down this rabbit hole? I was going to build a new footer. All right. I got to play around with this a little bit. Because there's actually something missing in there, which is a video. And I have to see how I want this to look long term, but it's somewhat accurate. I just have to figure out how to make it work right here. I think I have to make it wider. or make this wider. Maybe I just put it on the left-hand side. That could be it. I mean, I put it on the left-hand side. I have all those. And then everything, once the video's there, we'll see. I don't know. But, okay, let's fix the footer. So, one thing I wanted to do was, I didn't want an absolute position footer. Well, do I want to do the footer? No, let's just create the about page. So we have a new view here. So let's call it about. New file. About dot. God, I'm getting hungry. All right, and all right, so we're gonna lazy load the about page. No reason to have that be something that is front loaded. Cool. Now in about, we're gonna have the about.module.t. Now I don't see. Now what we can do is just go over to the home module because we lazy loaded that. We can select what's in here. We're gonna need to load the shared module for that. And now let's look at home routes. I don't know that we're going to actually have any more routes on an about, but like maybe if we want to do about individual team members or something like that, I don't know. We'll set it up that way. All right. All right, cool. We have our about routes. We have our about module. All right, now what we need to do, have it go on Emmanuel. Now what I need to do is jump to our app routes here. We need to lazy load our about page. So this will just be /about, and we will import here about.module, and that should lazy load it, and we can test this real quick with simple h1. So it's hello. All right. It's just in the browser. We should be able to tell in the network here. So let's clear this out. And now, see how that loaded right there? That lazy loaded our content here. So our home page is faster. Now we got to add an about page, but we can see that's going to be working. This is going to do a full page reload because we're in the browser, but you can see that we're getting our hello. Everything's expected. Very nice. So we can assume that the lazy load is working fine. So we've been able to lazy load our about page. Let's see what we want to do. Actually, so we're not really done with that, are we? We still have a couple things. We did not make vertical bread. We did do that. I'd say we're done with the right now component, sort of. I need to figure out the add situation. I'm gonna say that's done. That's done. All right, we'll do this. So we're gonna have a new footer, that new hotness. God, I'm getting hungry. Cool. All right. So I found out that I needed a couple things on my page, and I didn't really have a good spot for them, so I made this footer bigger. So what we're going to do is we're going to close all this. We're going to make a quick commit. Cool. All right, so in here we should have our components footer component.html. So this will be changing. But we're going to update our footer. Alright, we'll still have that here. We'll call this div hashtag logo. And in here, we'll inject an image. Alright, cool. So this image will be our Alright, cool. So, these social media icons are going to stay, but for now, let's just copy all this out. Cool. Let's go to our footer.component.scss. And we'll say hashtag logo. Instead of auto, let's do 1FR, 1FR. Excellent. And then a hashtag logo. Display grid. And then we'll do grid dash template columns 30px auto. Let's see how that looks. And then we'll set img, which will be block or display block. Width 100%. Alright, cool. Give it a grid gap. 20 pixels. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Make this like an H3. That looks better. Make it white. Let's align the content. I think it's a line item center. There we go. Line item center. Cool. All right, so halfway there, or a third of the way there. Now, we have our first row. So what we can do here is do something like grid dash template columns, or template areas if we want to. Or, better yet, so our next div should be social media. So we'll comment that out. Let's see how that looks. Sort of. All right. here. Justify content, center, and there we go. All right. And let's probably make those icons a little bit bigger. Cool. All right, very nice. Now we have to do the new thing, which we have our social media. That's fine. Then we have a copyright here. So, what we want to do here is I don't want to do this. We could just do a div. This technically should be a nav. And in our nav, we have all right, let's do this. Let's create a new component real quick. Do I want it to be a new component? No, I don't think we need it to be a new component. We have a UL. And here we have li, and it's a each one li has an href. And then we're gonna have an about. Cool. Hey. Alright. Hey, buddy. Alright, and then in our footer component.scss. Hey. There's that. And we will do a border dash right of 2px solid black. Let's just see how that looks. Almost. So each of these. Will you stop over there, young stud? What was it that I put over here on this? I need the opposite. Alright. Hey, buddy, what's going on? Cat's trying to get my attention. He doesn't understand. We're trying to work over here. Oh, hey, buddy. Not taking no for an answer, huh? We'll just put it on the A. Make my life easier. No, don't chew on that. All right, cool. And then we'll give some padding dash right of, I don't know, 10px, something like that. Hey, buddy. I'll give it a padding dash top of 10px and a padding dash bottom of 10px. A little bit much. All right, cool. Now we need to get the right color. So let's look at our styles real quick. Or variables, rather. Variables. So I think it's this one. God, I can't tell. Let's see which one it is. I think we're gonna do this one. All right. Okay, cool. And then on our nav here, we can do grid dash column 2. Is that right? Someone else has used that. No. 1/2. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. I gotta remember how to have something take up 2 spots. I think it's, oh. There we go. Wait, no, that's not it. So what I'm trying to do is have this take up the whole grid here. So you can see right here that it's only taking up 1 spot. I want to take up 2. Might be 1 of 3. There we go. 1 of 3. So it goes 0, 1. Wait, no, it goes 1, 2, 3. I'll go. I don't use this too often, but occasionally you need it. Alright, so then there's that. And then we have our copyright. Obviously, there's way too much padding, so let's go ahead and get rid of this. So let's say grid dash column gap. I think I meant row gap, yeah. Row gap. Oh, that shit doesn't look like it moved at all, did it? Oh my god. So these are our columns, so yeah, that's what we want. Yeah. I don't know why that's not changing. Am I changing it in the wrong spot? Yeah. That's why. You make mistakes like this when you're coding 12 hours a day. It's alright. Alright, so we have our about. We want to probably on that paragraph. On our paragraph, we just want to remove margin dash top of 0. There we go. Alright. And let's go ahead and create. We have a support. Should we have a home? Probably not, because it's. I got a cat in my lap, buddy. You're late to the party. And let's see, we're gonna have a contact eventually. My other cat looks at disgust that I have one of my cats in my lap. That's not him. Display. Inline. Plot. Alright. So what we want to do here is we want to. We can actually do this. So we'll do padding. So top and bottom will be 5px, and then we'll do 10px here. Now what's going to happen is our about's going to be slightly off center because that's the first of its type. So all we want to make sure that we do is that we would do something like and colon first of type padding dash left 0. I should solve that. And you also notice we have this extra one here. I was expecting those to line right up with what it was that we were trying to do. So I think we need to add some margin. Margin dash left 10 pixels. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. So we'll do something like 15 pixels. Then on here, we'll do margin dash left 15 pixels. But again, we're gonna have the same issue, so we have to do cool. And then now notice how we have this little block. We don't want that for our last guy. So there should be a last. So there's last of type. What is it? CSS. Is it last child? All right, last child. Yeah, no, we have to, since we put this on the anchor tag, right? There you go. This needs to be lighter. I don't know if I like that better. That might be a little too spicy. Let's see how that looks on the big screen. That doesn't look bad, but I think we might need to actually use a slightly lighter color. So let's see how it looks when we select one of these. It's probably not gonna look any different. It's all in my head. No, it does look different. Slightly lighter gray. I'll take it. All right, so cool. So we have that. Now let's go ahead and just on our about, since we do have that, put a router link equal to about. And I believe that's going to blow up. Oh, no. All right, cool. So it's doing it. And if we want to check our network call real quick, so let's go to the home page, close this, just do a hard reload. We'll clear our JavaScript, and now when we go to about, you can see that it loaded our associated JavaScript. So that's how you can tell that's lazy loading anyhow. Very nice. So we created our new footer, which I think is much better. Now we're not going to have it absolutely positioned like this, for obvious reasons, right? It takes up too much room, but we are going to fix it in an upcoming video. But in terms of styling, I think it's much better and more so what we're looking for. But we will leave that for the next. Why is this so big? The UL has padding here too, huh? Ooh, that's a little. Yeah, I think it's fine. Alright, cool. So, we have our latest footer, although we don't have what I want to add, which is a scroll up position, which will come in a next video. So, we've been going about 2 hours grinding on this. That's going to be it. I'm going to go have some dinner. But if you guys enjoyed the stream, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share. This is our 10th live stream building a production sort of application. That I deliver the same thing of quality I would in the workplace, but for myself, I guess. So if you're interested in my courses, I highly recommend my 2 latest ones. First, the 100 front-end technical interview question challenge, where we go over the 100 most asked and answered questions so you can be prepared for your interview, as well as the 100 algorithms challenge, so you can pass those the technical whiteboard and the technical screen, so you can go out and kill it. There's links in the description below where you can get it for just $9.99 or use coupon code CodingGod. With that being said, guys, I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and I'll probably be back tomorrow. Bye.